mess with people on Google Docs. All right, so talked about blood tithe. We talked about editing, working together, because this is a new thing on the podcast, is having co-authors talking about their work.
We were big fans of Weis and Hickman growing up.
Okay.
And being able to see all of the fantastic stories and read all of the fantastic stories that they wrote together. Tony and I have known each other for years, and
Many
years.
Double
And
digits.
we've been telling stories to each other and to other people probably for most of that time. So being able to work together in a collaborative environment like this just felt really easy for us. But I mean, it was something that was worked towards, certainly. It wasn't just, hey, that's great, let's do the thing. We have personalities that work well together,
and
for the most part.
Some days.
Some days.
yeah, that seems essential, like when you're doing a collaborative thing, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of collaborative efforts that definitely clash and don't collaborate well. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there are times
yeah.
we've disagreed, we've gotten mad at each other, and then waited 24 hours, and eventually one of us says, "You were right."
Yeah.
And
Or,
then-
okay, can we talk about this?
Yeah, because it is a process. It is definitely a process, especially when we get so caught up in
Yeah.
what we're doing, and then we forget. Hey, I didn't relay this. This is where we talked about this. This is where we should be going, kind of thing. And yeah, it's a process. And there are days when we love each other, and days like she wants to wring my neck.
That's true. That's what happens when you're dealing with a plotter and a pantser.
Oh,
I like my outlines.
this is where I say plot thickens. Like, okay,
Anthony
that
does not.
and honestly, like, I'm a pantser too, and I don't know, maybe you can confirm, over time, like, I've tried to outline and it just never works.
It just burns. So when we were doing the epic fantasy novels, we kind of struggled, or I struggled on that, because she was very good about this chapter, blah is happening, this chapter, blah is happening, but I couldn't make that happen in my head, because all the way I write, it just comes out.
It's word vomit. It's just on
I
there,
drop
and then you gotta figure out what to do
2,000,
with it.
4,000 words in 4 or 5 hours, and I just constantly, and there's no way to stop it, and I can't. I follow the train that's happening, because I see everything in my head. I have my own Netflix channel when it comes to these books.
In his brain. Yeah.
So I watch everything cinematically in order to see it happen, and that's how, like, combat or fights or anything, I see it in my brain. I'm like, okay, so I'll sit back and watch the movie and then type it all out.
Nice. But I mean, 2 books, and you said you're working on the 3rd, right?
Yep.
It's got to be working somehow.
It
right?
is.
Oh yeah,
It is.
it's madness, but I think that's why it works, because it's madness.
We are
There you
hoping to
go.
have the proofs of the 3rd book in hand this afternoon.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
what a day!
So.
Sorry, that's exciting. Like, we're podcasting today. You'll see this a little bit later, but then they will have the proofs really soon. So hopefully they'll be out.
They'll
Do
be
you know-
available. Yeah.
Do you know when you're hoping for a release for that?
October 4th
October 4th.
for the physical copies. The
Yep.
ebooks might possibly be floating around out there now and available.
Awesome.
Possibly.
Awesome.
Possibly.
That's exciting. All right, so I'm going to get to some of the fun questions
Sure.
now.
Sure.
All right, and feel free to jump in. I know I had some separate ones, but go for it. What inspires you both to write, like, the most? Talked about books, plays, movies, TV. Like, what, when you're trying to get creative on your writing, what inspires you to get that writing going?
Music.
Oh, okay.
Slot machine.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if?
No.
No?
The
Images?
picture.
The
Yeah,
images?
the images.
Okay, yeah, no,
So
that's fair.
she does this horrible thing to me.
I
and
do.
She goes. She shows me a picture of something.
Okay.
What do you think about this? Tell me a story about this.
I will do that to them. It's true.
Oh, okay.
And like that's actually what ended up happening. Why we wrote "Raise the Dead," the first book
Yep.
in Gothica. What do you think about this really cool cover? Well, that's cool.
Found a cover on a group of artists that do pre-made covers, and it was just a really neat, gothic, ghosty kind of cover, And I said, I gotta show this to Anthony. So I snip a picture of it and I send it over to him and I say, hey, what do you think about this? He said, 45 minutes later, he goes off to take a shower and I'm at work doing my stuff. And 45 minutes later, I get a ping on my Facebook Messenger and he's written a synopsis of what this story is going to be. And that's how Raise the Dead came into being, was based off of
Yep.
a cover.
So just visual images.
Yeah,
him,
I'm 100% visual, everything.
And
I mean,
I'm music.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But inspiration-wise, sometimes also it's bad old movies, like black and white.
Yeah.
Pick one.
I'm a fan of Ed Wood and
Okay.
all the Ed Wood classics, but I like those bizarre, weird stories. It's Alfred Hitchcock Presents. You
Yeah.
know, that's, and I like in Twilight Zone, especially Night Gallery. Taking those stories and looking at the hinges on the plot, looking at what makes it the story, and like, okay, how could I do that better? How can I make that my own? Because every story is broken down to 7 stories.
Yeah,
And it's a matter of figuring it out.
Campbell wasn't wrong on some points.
Yeah.
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 And using that, like, you know, I'll watch a thing about a ghost that won't go home kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, but now I'm going to give that ghost personality. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to do all this stuff, and then well, why is it stuck? And then I start bouncing ideas, and we go back and forth, and we argue, and then suddenly
Suddenly
bam.
we have a story.
we have a story.
That's super fun. Love it. I'm a huge Night Gallery fan. It was good to hear somebody else
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
no, I used to
'Cause,
watch it all the time.
You know, everybody knows Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock. You hear Night Gallery and people are like, what's that?
Oh yeah.
That was the one that was really late at night.
My favorite episode was the Sin Eater.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it. I love that one.
I liked the one, and it was, I can't remember the name of it. It was the one where Sally Field and I think she like just disappears into nowhere, like with her husband. It's Dean, can't remember his name. He plays Al on I give up.
Quantum Leap.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It's him and Sally Field in one, and it's really creepy. And especially with them, like, they're not usually creepy actors, and having them have a creepy role was interesting for me. And I watched that before bed as a teenager. It was
I do it as an adult sometimes.
but that one wasn't a good plan.
Eh,
I couldn't sleep.
What are you talking about?
It's fine.
It's all
Um,
fine.
All right, so research for your books, like, how, I think we talked about that, like, looking at the visual images.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that goes into writing these stories?
A lot of research.
Yeah, there is.
A lot of. I love going to a bookstore and then looking up reference materials.
Oh.
And specifically, like I have a copy of the Codex Florentine, Codex Borgia, which are the Mexican artwork murals within the Aztec Mayan temples. And it explains the story on those. So I have those because I like reading those myths and legends to understand it, and also looking at the art, how it was done, and how they were inspired to tell those stories. Because some of the stories, I mean, they're very bloody on what life was. I mean, life was brutal then, and those stories are very brutal. They ran hand in hand, and you're like, wow, what inspired this to happen? Because everything, there's always a grain of truth somewhere. Like flying snakes in South America. There are no snakes with wings, but there are birds whose tails were long enough that look like they are flying through the air. But you have these flying snake imagery everywhere, and it's like, it's how it was interpreted. And so I like looking at those reference materials and just digging up stuff, digging up legends, digging up stories, and then how can I reintroduce that for a modern audience?
Okay.
In one of our fantasy novels, there's a fight scene in the water with a giant crocodile. And I remember specifically watching over and over and over again multiple research videos on how giant saltwater crocodiles fight in the wild. so that I could get the right angles and the right roll and how. And